इस साल में ये बंद हुआ था, उसके बाद भी there was no change in crime. In fact, you brought in क्या हुआ?
There is a fine code for this one. If you torture data enough, it can consume to anything.
No, it's so true because I countered them and said that there's this Nobel laureate. Always helps to quote a Nobel laureate. There's a Nobel laureate called Gary S. Becker who actually did a study which said that this serves as a deterrent, and every criminal looks at the cost-benefit analysis, does a cost-benefit analysis of the crime, and then decides on whether it's worth it to do the crime. And one of the things that he looks at, or she looks at, when deciding to carry out a crime is of course whether they get captured or caught, and what the punishment will be, and whether the payoff is good enough. So if I want to rob a bank, will the money I get out of robbing the bank be enough to kind of make up for the chance that I might go to jail for I don't know how many years, In a country like America, you can go to jail for life for robbing a bank for some reason. So, just that, in terms of looking at Samvad, like he said, statistics, for example, can be used in either case. So it's important to go prepared. I think part of our fault lies in the fact that we don't read enough. We don't think enough about these things. We don't study enough before we go for these debates. And it's really, really important to do that. Because if you don't do that, then you will constantly feel intimidated by situations. So, when I'm finished from here and when I have time, I may have a debate today at 9 p.m. or Samvad. It won't be a Samvad. It's on Republic TV, so if it's confirmed, I love Republic TV, let me make that clear. I've been on debates in London now for about 4 or 5 years, and I've learned a lot. But, it's on that Missionary of Charities case, which is going on in Ranchi. Do you all know about that, right? Pata hai na kya hua usme? But then this is another situation where media bias is so strong. If you recall about 1.5 साल पहले, आपको याद है आउटलुक मैगजीन ने कवर स्टोरी की थी. You remember that,
yeah.
ना?
On RSS.
हाँ, और ना सेवा नहीं.
On
समिति.
On
समिति पे किया. हाँ. तो वहाँ पे वो पूरा छापा था. और मुझे याद है क्योंकि मैंने आउटलुक के लिए भी पहले लिखा है, और पूरा छापा हुआ था. एंड उसमें कोई प्रूफ नहीं था, उसमें कोई एक पेपर ट्रेल उन्होंने फॉलो की थी. अरे वाह, अच्छा नहीं. पेपर ट्रेल फॉलो की थी, और उस पेपर ट्रेल में देयर वाज सम डिस्क्रिपेंसी या कुछ, बट देयर वाज नथिंग ऑफ ट्रैफिकिंग. द पेरेंट्स न्यू, सब कुछ पता था. पेरेंट्स का इमोशनल रिएक्शन भी हुआ था कि बच्चे दूर चले गए, दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग. और मैं खुद गई हूँ उन जगह, तो मैंने देखा है कि बच्चों को कैसे रखा जाता है. क्या they are usually taken from very conflict-ridden places, where they will not survive, or situations where girls will be trafficked, because of poverty, because the parents cannot afford them. So they are very at-risk children here, who are, given an education, given a life, and this has been happening for years, and there's not been one case, not a single case of abuse. But there was media bias because this became the cover story based on this. It was a full cover story. And of course now it is being challenged in the court of law, so there's no point going into the details or the merits of it. But I remember when I offered to write a rebuttal, I was told that maybe in 1 page. And I said, you give 14 pages to this and you'll give me 1 page for the rebuttal. So, there is media bias. Now when you have a situation where Missionaries of Charities में जो हुआ है, जो इनका निर्मल हृदय करके जगह है रांची में, झारखंड में, and again, what has happened there, again we're digressing. You all should tell me you're digressing when I'm digressing. But essentially, children were sold. And it's such a scandal, it's such huge news. But very quickly someone like Mamata Banerjee will come out and say कि आप उनको डिफेम कर रहे हो. nuns बहुत अच्छा काम करती हैं. No one is denying, हो सकता है काम अच्छा करती हैं, मुझे नहीं पता. But ये भी हुआ है ना. और अब आज टेप्ड कन्फेशंस है. तो जब ऐसे डिबेट्स में जाओ तो यू हैव टू नो योर फैक्ट. सो आई एम जस्ट सेइंग, यू नो, देयर विल बी फैक्ट, देयर विल बी इश्यूज, देयर विल बी पर्सनल अटैक्स व्हिच विल ट्राई टू डिरेल यू. क्योंकि जब पर्सनल अटैक होता है आप डिस्ट्रैक्ट हो जाते हो. सडनली किसी ने आपके बारे में कुछ कह दिया, आपको कुछ कह दिया, जी आप साइकोफैन हैं, जी आप संघी हो, फैशिस्ट हो, और वो सब चीज़ें शुरू हो जाती हैं. तो आपका जो पॉइंट है, आपका अभी स्टेटिस्टिक आप बताने वाले थे, बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट, किसी ने संघी बुला दिया तो थोड़ा डिस्ट्रैक्ट हो जाते हैं. So you have to stay the course, you know, you cannot get distracted. I think part of Samvad was also that, you know. So when you said, no, Mr. Ji की जब पत्नी ने उनको challenge किया, तो she thought she can challenge him on what? On worldly, on kama side, because he was a brahmachari. So she says, you know, can you talk to me about this? Can you debate with me on this aspect? Because I am a she's a housewife, householder. She's gone through the Grihastha ashram, so she has insight into this life. And she was sure that Adi Shankaracharya will not be able to argue with her on this. कि उनको पता ही नहीं है. तो उन्होंने क्या कहा? उन्होंने समय लिया. For what? For research. Of course, उनका research तो बहुत ही अलग था. You know, he went and he like took the form, like he entered the body of a king and, you know, lived the life of a king for a while. So he understood every aspect of it, and then he came back into his own form and argued with her. But even Adi Shankaracharya had to say a time out. You know, I need to do some research. So research, reading is extremely important. You know, you cannot discount it, you cannot undercut it, but most importantly, it gives you a lot of confidence, especially when you go into battle, and a battle of wits, a battle of intelligence, a battle of arguments. तब आपको बहुत ज़रूरी है कि आप थोड़ा प्रिपेयर होके जाएं. And what else? I talk non-stop. For how long? You can ask questions. I can go more into history also if you. But you all must read the Constituent Assembly debates. Have you all read them? Not as part of your course, no, just general, no. But you must read them because they're such wonderful, wonderful articulations, you know, from everything, from prohibition to the use of the word secular. So when you listen to the debates on why the word secular was not there in the preamble and then it was brought in by Indira Gandhi later, you know, it's a very sound reasoning why it wasn't required. Because Hinduness, or what we call Hinduness, is so already infused in our constitution without identifying it in one way or the other. You know, it's an infusion. You know what an infusion is, right? If you dip a tea bag in a cup of hot water, it infuses that water with flavor, with color, with aroma. Hinduness is pretty much like that in our lives. It infuses into our lives in many ways, जो हमें पता भी नहीं चलेगा. हम समझे भी नहीं, समझेंगे भी नहीं कि ये कहाँ से आया. But it's just there, you know. Everyone points out the nasty bits, you know, कि caste system, ये सब है, गंद है, no doubt. But बहुत सी और चीज़ें हैं which we won't even realize, but it's there in our reactions, in our approach to life. And I think the Constitution is a very, very beautiful example of an infusion of Hinduness in it. You know, right from the fact that the makers of the Constitution didn't feel the need to even use the word secular, because secular is such an integral part of being Hindu. What's that Sanskrit phrase? Sarvadharma?
Sarvadharma Samabhava.
That's it. ठीक है, questions?
We could discuss the on the Constitution's preamble. It is Sarva Panthi. Your fault, actually. Sorry. Actually, it is Panthi Nirpeksha on the preamble. But when Gandhiji used it, he said Sarva Dharma Sambhava. So
So basically you're quoting Gandhiji. And what is the difference in that? That's an interesting point. आशीषी पंथ और धर्म में आपको क्या? No, everyone. What is the difference between पंथ and धर्म?
Panth is like actually see the religion. Hinduism is very different from those conception of Hinduism is different from those Abrahamic religions.
Correct.
So Panth means like we are Hindus. Then there are different sects of Hindus. We can classify them as Panth. Like Hinduism is there, Jainism is there, Buddhism is there.
So the Indic faiths.
Exactly.
Kabir Panthi.
They can be categorized as faiths under Hinduism. As Panths. Different sects.
एक्चुअली मैम धर्म का मीनिंग आया है भारतीय भी धर्म उसका मीनिंग है जो भी धारण करने योग्य है जो भी अच्छे आचरण है दैट इज धर्म इट इज नॉट लाइक हिंदू रिलीजन मुस्लिम दिस डेफिनेशन इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द वर्ड रिलीजन व्हेन वी ट्रांसलेट इट इनटू इंग्लिश देन धर्म हैज नो मीनिंग इन इंग्लिश
Correct.
इट इज वन वर्ड एंड व्हेन वी कम टू पंथ तो देन द वर्ड का मत मीन्स मेरे मन की कही मेरे मत अनुसार तो एक मेरा मत मीन्स ओपिनियन so a thing which is created from one opinion like Mohammedan or Christianity or from Genesis
Of the book.
then it is panth dharma or panth.
Even in Indian discourse, there is a particular shloka which comes during the Yudhishthira and Yaksha's like question answer, that huge iconic debate. So there is a couplet. It says, "Shrutir vibhinna smrityo vibhinna naiko munirasya vachah pramani धर्मस्य तत्त्वं निहितं गुहायां महाजनो येन गता स पंथा." तो श्रुति कई है, श्रुतियाँ कई हैं, मतलब there are shrutis are many in number, even smritis are many in number. The essence of dharma is very complicated, it's very deep. Mahajan, great men, great people, wherever they have walked, that is the way. So pantha is the way of the great people. So if Buddha has gone into a path or he has taken up some ideas, that is the pantha. If Christ has taken something, if Muhammad Sahib has taken something, those are the pantha.
I understand that. I was curious to know why was there a distinction between the two? That you have an answer.
Dharma is one. And
No, I understand this. I want to know why Gandhiji and that distinction I want to know.
Maybe the word dharma has larger encapsulation of.
So you think Gandhiji was kind of
Yes.
doing his thing?
It's more of a broader feeling.
Yeah.
Dharma is a broader feeling.
Yeah.
And the Supreme Court agrees with the former.
Acha, with the Panth.
Panth, then they later changed it to the
Well,
Gandhi.
Supreme Court has agreed with a lot of things lately, which are very interesting. Although that's not contempt, right? I'm in a room full of lawyers. You defend me? Yeah. Okay. So yes, any more questions? Please, keep an exchange. Don't worry, I don't have to answer the questions. You can raise a point also.
Just to add one point, कि हम जब कहते हैं ना कि हिंदुइज्म में या हमारे समाज में कह सकते हैं कि एक चीज़ को देखने का नज़रिया अलग अलग हो सकता है, या दिस इज़ नॉट द ओनली वे. हम कहते हैं कि सैल्वेशन का, जैसे हमें कहा जाता है सैल्वेशन का ये तरीका नहीं है, बहुत सारे तरीके हो सकते हैं, आप किसी भी तरीके से आप जा सकते हो. बट अदर साइड, दिस इज़ द ओनली वे. दैट somewhere creates the problem actually.
I think that creates the problem, and that is also why I think there is that conflict. But at the same time, we should also be careful about not becoming very rigid ourselves. क्योंकि एक ऐसी भी tendency आ रही है जहाँ हम भी बहुत rigid हो रहे हैं. In that sense, I think we have to be a little careful that we don't start thinking कि the only way to resist something is to become that. That doesn't mean that आप बैठ के you put up with everything also, but थोड़ा we should be careful of what we are becoming.
I have a question.
Yes.
Ma'am, do you think in the wake of fake news or half-truths, our traditional Bharatiya discourse is deteriorating?
I don't think Shankaracharya ji had fake news to contend with. Although when he must have won that second debate, and they must have asked him कैसे किया आपने, and उन्होंने बताया होगा, so I'm sure someone must have said fake news, you know, where is this coming from, you know? But I think fake news has been around forever, huh? तो ऐसा नहीं है कि fake news आज हुआ है, fake news पहले से है, and it has been used in politics forever. You know, there's a whole history of fake news. But the question is कि earlier the method of dissemination और the methods were limited. तो अगर आप अखबार में छाप दिया आपने, so that was your short way of making sure that the maximum number of people get to know. और अखबार में आया है तो लगता था कि हाँ ये सत्य ही होगा, this is verifiable news. और इसीलिए जब हम आज की बात करते हैं मीडिया इतना biased है या मीडिया is sold और nastier words are used, जब हम ये ऐसी बात करते हैं कि you know what happened was over the history of independent India, जिसकी सत्ता थी उन्होंने न्यूज़ डिसाइड भी किया टू अ लार्ज एक्सटेंट कि क्या छपेगा क्या नहीं छपेगा. थोड़ा बहुत तो इंडिपेंडेंस तो थी बिल्कुल, यू कांट से दैट दे वर नॉट इंडिपेंडेंट, बट आई थिंक यू नो उस टाइम आई थिंक इट वाज LK Advani हु सेड ना ड्यूरिंग द इमरजेंसी, क्या बोला उन्होंने, वो आस्क्ड टू not to bend and you crawl. So you know something to that effect. So I think you know also you know in the past of course there was state control, so that influenced like media control for a long time what was communicated. Remember Doordarshan was a state channel, which means it was controlled by the government and it was the primary source of news in the country, and for some time, a long time, entertainment as well. Remember, I think you all must have been kids or not even born when Ramayana and all were on Doordarshan. You know, it was huge, massive. But again, it was controlled. You know, it was definitely controlled. So what you were receiving in terms of information was definitely what the government wanted to hear. Now, in the present time, it has become a different kind of control. It's a corporate control. Business interests control it. So a lot of times what you get to hear will also be controlled by what owners want you to hear. And hence we've now moved on to the next stage, which is the new media stage, where you're seeing a lot more digital media outlets come up, but they are also partisan, but they are openly partisan. So if I say Op India, for example, you know which side of the divide they're on. If I say The Wire, you know which side of the divide they're on. You know, and I think in that way it's better when that happens, because at least then you know how you're being served the news and you know exactly what perspective you're getting. It's more hard work, you'll have to read more to decide which side you want to believe, but it's better. But coming back to fake news has been around forever. I think what the problem is now that it becomes defamatory, it ruins reputations. It it can be used to trigger violence, like we've seen. And I think that is really the part that bothers me in particular, is the fact that people are getting killed based on fake news. And of course, if you're Donald Trump, you think everything except for Fox News is fake news. So you know that happens. But you know, I mean, you know, it works on very different levels. And the recent UNHRC report came out on Kashmir. अगर आपने देखा होगा उसके बारे में बहुत चर्चा हुई थी कि उन्होंने एक ऐसी रिपोर्ट लिखी, और मैं एक पॉडकास्ट करती हूँ thedemocrat.in, आप लोग सुनिएगा उसको कभी, एंड उसमें हमने इस विषय पर चर्चा की थी, और वहाँ पे 2-3 जर्नलिस्ट थे, और सब कश्मीरी ऑब्जर्वर्स हैं, और डिफेंस पे लिखते हैं, इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी पे लिखते हैं. उनमें से एक संदीप पुनेतन ने बहुत ही एक बढ़िया बुक लिखी है और 26/11 की मिलिट्री साइड की ऑपरेशंस क्या थी, तो आर्म पर्सनल की ऑपरेशंस क्या थी रेस्क्यू में. तो बहुत ही बढ़िया किताब है. पर हमने इसका डिस्कशन किया और उसमें पता चला कि ये जो उन लोगों ने मुझे बताया कि ये जो रिपोर्ट जो लिखी थी, पहले तो वो वहाँ गए ही नहीं कश्मीर, उनको परमिशन नहीं मिली, तो वहाँ बिना जाए उन्होंने ये रिपोर्ट लिखी. ये रिपोर्ट बिल्कुल पहली रिपोर्ट है इतने सालों बाद, और ये रिपोर्ट खाली 2 साल में बेस्ड है, खाली 2 साल में बेस्ड है. उन्होंने कॉल इन करके लोगों से बात की और कहा कि आप अपना ओपिनियन दीजिए. बाद में पता चला कि उन्होंने कोई इमाम को कॉल किया जो कनाडा में थे, जो फिर टीवी पे आए और उन्होंने बड़ी प्राउडली कहा कि हमारा भी कंट्रीब्यूशन है इस रिपोर्ट में. रिपोर्ट और भी की वैल्यू हो गई. तो उसके ऊपर जो कमिश्नर है वहाँ के, जो अभी रिटायर हो रहे हैं या उनका जॉब का टेन्योर खत्म हो रहा है, उनका कोई और फोटो निकली with where he was seen with some members of the Pakistani deep state and the establishment. तो ये बात भी सामने आई. तो जब when MEA turns around and says उनके official statement में कहते हैं building a false narrative. अब उन्होंने तो false narrative कह दिया पर essentially they're saying fake news. So it's at an international level also between countries that it's happening. Narrative, fake news, and it's also becoming very subjective. But in terms of just more practical things, I think you have to be very careful when it triggers violence, and that's what you have to take very, very seriously. As for Samvad, I mean, you have to go with Nobel laureates, not fake news.
No, actually, I want to ask, what can be the reliable sources where we can rely actually for this Samvad? Because most of our knowledge is based on either on Wikipedia or on the Facebook, which can be edited by anyone else. Because there is a very famous statement that says that there are 3 types of lies: lies, damn lies, and statistics. So in
statistics is getting bad today. Thank God there are no economists here.
But the thing is, what can be the reliable sources where we can actually rely, having that everyone has their own version of everything? Whether we are debating on anything, but they have their own version which actually talk about what they want to interpret. So what can be the reliable sources?
I think the most important thing is to say that there will be different versions of truth. There will be different versions of history, because history is almost always written by the victors. So those are facts. But in any evolved democracy with a media that is transparent or aims to be transparent, there should be the reader should be able to make informed choices. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that if I pick up, for example, the Indian Express newspaper, I should be able to say what line of argument it follows. Whether it is centrist, whether it is leftist, whether it is on the right. Now, in the US, for example, they have rating agencies that tell you what the political bias of a newspaper or a television channel is. Now, the moment I know what the newspaper's political bias is, then I am informed. Now, I cannot control. My one subscription is not going to influence the kind of reportage they do or the slant that they take. But being informed myself as a reader, knowing, for example, that this paper will be anti-Modi, which a lot of papers are. So when I know that, then I am able to read that paper and assess it for the facts it reveals and the facts that it does not reveal in one article itself. So I think, that kind of transparency, that kind of independent rating, because all of them will say that we are very balanced, we're not biased. But that's not true. We know that's not true. Everyone has a bias, and journalists in particular have a bias. Because they're very opinionated and they're out in the world and they're gathering news and they're listening to a lot of versions. So they develop their own opinions very quickly. So I think it's important that there are independent agencies that actually rank places based on their bias. So for example, if you look at the New York Times ranking, it will tell you that it's left liberal. It will tell you that. The New York Times may not say it itself, or maybe it does, I don't know. Yeah, the Washington Post, they will tell you that this is who they are. Take it or leave it. And then you can decide whether you want to take it or leave it. I mean, it says something that, Republic is the newest TV channel, but it's the #1 TV channel since it's launched. And it's very straightforward about its positions. So, that means that there is an appetite in the audience to know where this news is coming from. I think that's the only defense. I think those days that when people will believe, when a journalist says that I am unbiased, are long gone. At best, you can be balanced. At best, you can be balanced, but we all have biases. I remember I went for one debate, and there was this two ladies journalists who were on the debate, and I write a lot about Kannur in Kerala and the violence there, and the killing of RSS workers and things like that. And we were about to start the debate, and there was these two journalists and me, and the anchor said, how should I introduce you? should I introduce you as a journalist? Because I've been writing these reports, you know, from there. And I said, no, please don't. I said, just call me a writer. So she's like, why? I said, because I've taken a position on the issue, so I'm not a journalist. Journalists should be unbiased. And they literally looked at each other. but you know, so that's the ideal, right? But we all know it's not the reality. So, you know, have courage of your conviction, believe in what you're doing, what you're saying, but also know that, you know, to expect straightforward news is not happening.
हाँ जी, पर हम संवाद की बात कर रहे हैं तो हम संवाद में बातें आती हैं, उसमें इतिहास भी आता है, पर हमारे पास तो हमारा इतिहास ही नहीं है, हमको इतनी फैब्रिकेटेड चीज़ें पढ़ाई जाती है। मैम लाइक एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल है, हमारे वेदों में एक सिंपल सी बात कही गई है कि आप शाकाहारी बने, और शाकाहारी ने इनफैक्ट मांसाहार को भी इंक्लूड किया, तो उन्होंने बोला एक सात्विक भोजन कीजिए जिसमें मांसाहार भी आता है। तो मैम वही सात्विक भोजन के ऊपर जो उन्होंने लिखा हुआ है वेदों में, उसी पे बेस्ड एक वो अल्बर्ट आइंस्टाइन की थ्योरी है जिसको पेन वेव थ्योरी बोली जाती है। उसमें उसने यही बात बोली है कि अगर हम नॉनवेज खाना छोड़ दें तो इससे प्रकृति अपने आप बैलेंस में आ जाएगी, ओजोन लेयर डिप्लीट होना कम हो जाएगी। आज साइंटिफिक्स जो साइंटिस्ट उसको पहले गलत बता रहे थे, आज सही बताते हो, ये बोलते हैं कि अगर हम वेजिटेरियन हो जाए तो 50% चीज़ वैसे ही सही हो जाएगी जितना भी ग्लोबल वार्मिंग हुआ है। और हम ऐसे ही कितनी सारी हिस्ट्री हमारे पास है, पर उसको हमने धर्म बना दिया है और उस पर हम संवाद कर ही नहीं सकते हैं, तो फिर हम कैसे क्या करेंगे?
उसको दबा के रखा है। ये तो वास्तविकता है जो मैंने अभी कहा था कि आपका साहित्य वो ही लिखते हैं जो जीते हुए हैं ना। तो अगर आप देखिए भारत का अतीत देखिए, एटलीस्ट द लास्ट कितना 1000 साल, 800 + 200 ना, 1000 years, लॉन्ग टाइम। ये 70 साल ही इतने लंबे लगते हैं जो अभी इंडिपेंडेंट इंडिया की हिस्ट्री है। तो यू इमेजिन 1000 years कितना लंबा समय होता है कि एक कल्चर को दबा के रखना, उसके अस्तित्व को छुपा के रखना। खाली जब ब्रिटिश आए थे, और ये मैंने पढ़ा है, और उनकी सोच ऐसी थी, रिमेंबर ब्रिटिश जब यहाँ आए थे तो दे केम एज ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी, तो उनका इंटरेस्ट हमें कल्चरल नहीं था, एक प्योरली इकोनॉमिक। इट वॉज नॉट इवन कि हमें सिविलाइज करें, वो कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि हमें सिविलाइज करके गए, वो सिविलाइज भी नहीं करना चाह रहे थे, वो बस पैसा बनाना चाह रहे थे। हम थे सोने की चिड़िया। उनको सुनने में आया कि यहाँ सोने की चिड़िया में स्पाइसेस मिलते हैं, सोना मिलता है, डायमंड्स मिलते हैं, कपड़ा मिलता है, यहाँ आके लेके निकलो। एंड दे वर अ ग्रेट शिपिंग नेशन ऑफ दैट टाइम। वो बात है, दे वर वेरी एडवेंचरस। उन्होंने शिप खूब बड़ी बना के स्पेन के अर्माडा के साथ खूब लड़ाई करके वो निकल जाते थे अपनी शिप में, तो वो तो था उनमें। तो आगे यहाँ देयर वाज अ प्योरली कमर्शियल इंटरेस्ट, बट दे वर द वंस एक्चुअली हु स्टार्टेड एक्सप्लोरिंग द वेदास, हु स्टार्टेड अंडरस्टैंडिंग, एंड व्हाई? प्योरली फॉर सेल्फिश रीजंस। क्योंकि उन्होंने सोचा कि हमें अगर इन लोगों को कंट्रोल करके रखना है, समझदारी थी उनकी कि अगर हमें इनको कंट्रोल करके रखना है तो हमें समझना है इनके तौर तरीके क्या हैं, इनकी बिलीफ सिस्टम क्या है। जब इन्होंने सेंसस दिया 1850s में, ऐसे का पहला सेंसस जब हुआ तो हिंदू शब्द उससे पहले नहीं था। हिंदू वॉज अ कल्चरल टर्म। आज भी चाइना में, चीन में, उनके ऑफिशियल डॉक्यूमेंट्स में इंडिया को हिंदूज ही बुलाते हैं। इवन इन साउथ कोरिया अभी भी देयर एन एंशिएंट सिविलाइजेशन, दे हैव ऑलवेज नोन अस एज हिंदूज। ब्रिटिश जब आए तो उन्होंने कहा जी हमें क्रिश्चियंस तो समझते हैं, समझ सकते हैं, मुसलमान भी समझ सकते हैं, उनके एब्राहमिक रिलीजन्स लिंक्स हैं, ये बाकी लोग क्या है? कोई शिव जी को पूछते हैं, कोई गणेश जी को, कोई कृष्ण को, तो ये लोग कौन है? तो उन्होंने कहा इनको हिंदूज बुला दो। तो वैसे ही वो शब्द आया यूज में। तो हिंदू इज अ सिविलाइजेशनल कल्चरल टर्म, दैट इज द actual meaning of Hindu. So when someone like Shashi Tharoor or Sitaram Yechuri, this is also very funny, हिंदू पाकिस्तान जब कहते हैं और फिर कहते हैं हिंदू एज इन हिंदू रिलीजन हिंदू, और फिर why I'm saying it's funny, sorry, is because शशि थरूर ने ये कहा और फिर बहुत बड़ी कंट्रोवर्सी हो गई और फिर उसके बाद सीताराम येचुरी ने एक आर्टिकल ट्वीट किया जिसमें लिखा था कि उन्होंने पहले हिंदू पाकिस्तान बोला
हे राम।
मुझे समझ में नहीं आया कि जब इतनी बदनामी वाली चीज़ हुई है